Welcome back, everyone, to the Late Night Review. And tonight I'm happy to talk about a movie that I have a lot of nostalgia for and a pretty well remembered drive-in movie experience. We saw this movie at the drive-in theater, and I'm talking about Missing in Action 1, Part 1 with Chuck Norris. Yeah, I have a lot of nostalgia for this, and I've always liked his Missing in Action movies, even Part 3. I enjoyed Part 3. This movie, I remember seeing it at the drive-in with my dad, my uncle, and my cousin. Distinctly remember it. I can actually smell the food now. I remember I think I had Coca-Cola and had a hamburger with fries, and so did I don't know if my cousin did or not, but I do remember having a little bit of food. I can almost smell it now, but I have a lot of nostalgia for the experience and for the movie, but primarily just seeing it at the drive-in at night, and it was fun too. Missing in Action was one of the movies, but the other movie that they showed with it was Uncommon Valor, which was another, it was really a great movie. Uncommon Valor with Gene Hackman, Patrick Swayze, Randall Tex Cobb, Fred Ward. I think his name's Fred Ward. He was in Remo Williams, and then of course Tremors with him and Kevin Bacon. But that Uncommon Valor, that was really a good movie, very good movie. It's actually more dramatic to me than Missing in Action. Missing in Action and Uncommon Valor, they both had action. Missing in Action had a little bit more action, I think, but Uncommon Valor was more realistic and more sad. They're both sad, but Uncommon Valor, that's a movie that you shouldn't miss if you like Vietnam oriented type movies and Gene Hackman and Patrick Swayze. It was really a good movie. We saw that there's a double feature, and it was a great double feature. And Missing in Action 1 is a movie I always liked. I liked the fact that Chuck Norris wanted to go back and rescue POWs in Vietnam, and it was really it was enjoyable in terms of the action and in terms of just seeing a new Chuck Norris movie. But it was also dramatic, and it was sad because of the content. My dad, both my parents had passed away. I mean, my dad passed away in 2016. My mom passed away in 2020. They're both gone. My dad was a Vietnam veteran, and he was in the 173rd in Vietnam, and he also spent a little time in the 101st Airborne, and he was around the Iron Triangle area from 1966 to 68. He was drafted. So that every time I see a Vietnam movie, I think about that, think about my dad. And this movie it was a good movie. I think Uncommon Valor it was more sad though. And I think this is a really good action movie along with the drama Missing in Action. It's a review about Missing in Action, but Uncommon Valor, it's just I saw that at the same night, and it's hard not to talk about that. Yeah, especially the scene where Gene Hackman missed his son. His son was a POW. He never came home, and he saw him. He appeared at night to him, kind of like in a dream or a vision, and his hand would reach out. It was really a touching scene. Didn't know where his son was exactly, except that he was a prisoner in Vietnam. Gets a team together, including Patrick Swayze, Tex Cobb, and other actors that you'd seen in other films, just to go rescue POWs, including his son. And there were some very touching scenes, very dramatic movie, but I'll talk about the movie I planned on talking about, Missing in Action. Very, very good movie to me. It's one of Chuck Norris's best, especially if you like his Missing in Action movies in Vietnam-oriented films about Vietnam. I think you'll like Missing in Action. There's some martial arts in here for sure. It's a Chuck Norris movie. Not a lot, not as much as there would be like in something like An Eye for an Eye, Breaker Breaker, The Octagon, Force of One, or Forced Vengeance, which I've said on the channel before in the past. Forced Vengeance with Chuck Norris is actually my favorite Chuck Norris movie of all time. But this is a good movie too. I like Missing in Action. I've always liked his Missing in Action movies. Chuck Norris had a brother, Whelan, who was in Vietnam and killed in Vietnam. And I mean, he was in the service. His brother Aaron was in the service, and then Whelan Norris was in the service too. I have Chuck Norris's book, biography in his book. It's called Against All Odds, and it's around here somewhere. That's a really good book. And yeah, his brother was killed in Vietnam. Saved a lot of his own men, though, in the process and kept them from being killed. And so this movie, I think the whole series, the Missing in Action series, really is close to Chuck Norris and his heart, according to what I've read and seen him say in interviews. So it's a movie that means a lot to me, too. I told you my dad was in Vietnam in the Iron Triangle area. He was in the 173rd and the 101st for a time. And but that's a very it's a very he told me different things, different stories about what happened, and it's sad. It brings it all back. It brings about back the stories that I heard from my dad. And when I see Missing in Action or Rambo, that's another movie, especially the first Rambo, where he explains different things about what happened to him. It all comes back. And the stories that I've heard from people who were there, especially my dad being there, and the stories he told. And but yeah, Missing in Action, it strikes a chord, I think, with a lot of people who are connected to Vietnam somehow, whether they were there or whether they had family there or family killed over there, or whether they know someone who served over there and they've heard the different things they went through and stuff like that. But yeah, movies like this, movies like Uncommon Valor, which I highly recommend, by the way. It's not a movie that I hear anyone really talk about much on YouTube, Uncommon Valor, with Gene Hackman and Patrick Swayze. It's it's more dramatic and sad than Missing in Action, even though Missing in Action has its sad moments too. There's a bit more action, I would say, in Missing in Action, because it is a Chuck Norris movie. And it's a movie with purpose. It's a movie with cause. The hero in here, Chuck Norris, has a just cause in what he's doing. And I like it. I really like the movie. Missing in Action 2, I think it's even more dramatic. I think Missing in Action 2 is my personal favorite of the Missing in Action trilogy. But yeah, Missing in Action 1, I do have fond memories about this being at that drive-in with my cousin, my uncle, my dad. I remember watching this, and everything that went with it, all the stuff my cousin and I did, all the stuff that we talked about, different things. And we remember enjoying that night at the drive-in. And Missing in Action is a pretty good pace. The content is good. I think the story is good. It's, if you like Vietnam oriented type movies, it might be one of your favorite Chuck Norris movies. You might like it better than his other films if you're more into the shooting in the Vietnam category rather than the martial arts category. You might like this better, not sure. Most people have seen it, though. Most people have seen the Missing in Action movies. They've been out for decades. It's obviously, especially the first one. Missing in Action 2 was a prequel. It came out after part 1, but it was actually a prequel. It was called Missing in Action 2, The Beginning. And Missing in Action 3 was called Braddock, Missing in Action 3. But yeah, Missing in Action 2 was a prequel. I like Missing in Action. I like all of them, especially I think part 2, but part 1 is good too. And by some reason, if you haven't seen it and you're a Chuck Norris fan or you're into these types of movies, I think you'll like it. I think you're in for a treat. I highly recommend it. The pace is pretty good in here. It's kind of fast, maybe not, it's not slow, it's not super fast, but I think it's somewhere in the middle. I enjoyed it. I had that drive-in experience that I won't forget, and it was a good experience. Have a lot of nostalgia. I have more nostalgia for the drive-in experience than I actually do the movie, but I really enjoy the movie quite a bit, and I recommend it. And this has been the Late Night Review. Please like and subscribe and share this video, hype it up and pump it up, and have a good night, everybody.